Are you looking for the best range finders for hunters and golfers? In this video we will look at some of the 6 best range finders for hunters and golfers on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description, so make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Number 1. Maven CRF.1 Hunting Rangefinder. Most rifle hunters want a rangefinder that's easy to use and works when they need it to, at mostly modest distances. For hunters who aren't shooting beyond 500 yards, a 1,000 yard capable rangefinder is plenty, but sometimes you want to be able to range longer distances, even if you aren't shooting across them. Maven's CRF.1 will let you range out to 2,400 yards on reflective objects and trees up to 1,300 yards, which means you can gauge distances over a mile away while getting specific shooting distances on an animal up to 650 yards away. Maven's direct-to-consumer model has always delivered high-quality optics for less, but the brand's C-Series, which includes this CRF.1 model, offers cheaper options to reach a wider audience. I have tested both the CRF.1 and the company's higher-end RF.1 rangefinder, included in this roundup as well, and prefer the cheaper CRF.1. The effective range is shorter, but you save $150 and the clarity of view is still incredible for the price. The CRF.1 also has a slimmer profile than the RF.1 thanks to the omission of the large alloy button that sticks out from the RF.1. Number 2. Bushnell Bone Collector 1000 Rangefinder. By the time a hunter pays for firearms and bows, clothing, binoculars, and all the accessories pitched as essential these days, it's not surprising they hardly feel like forking over several $100s more for a rangefinder. The Bone Collector 1000 from Bushnell isn't the cheapest rangefinder you can buy, but it's the cheapest one I recommend. The simple one-button operation and generous 25mm objective lens make it easy to use for targets such as deer out to 350 yards, which is pushing the limits of your average hunter anyway. Reflective targets can be measured out to 1,000 yards, so this won't limit you to 350 in most situations if you can range a nearby object. The 1000 is essentially a replacement for the Bone Collector 850, which I recommended as a budget option in the past. This new model adds angle compensation for archery hunters, expands the viewing area a bit, and extends the range, yet keeps the modest price about the same, making this an even better value than its predecessor. Number 3. Maven RF.1 Rangefinder. The RF.1 was Maven's first rangefinder, and it's a good one. Its direct-to-consumer business model keeps the top-of-the-line performance under $500 while offering unique features and, most important, high-quality Japanese glass that makes viewing far-off targets through the large 25mm lens a pleasure. There's also an unconditional lifetime warranty. The red LED overlay is easy to read and the menu and modes are simple to navigate without consulting a manual, but there are some advanced features such as field and forest modes, which help improve accuracy based on the environment you're hunting. The 4,500 yard maximum range is about as good as it gets and should be more than enough for even the most demanding long-range shooter. If you don't need the very best and want to save some cash, look at their newer, more affordable CRF.1 recommended above. Our best overall. Number 4. Nikon Coolshot Pro Stabilized Rangefinder. Given the relatively short distances measured in golfing, any decent rangefinder will be adequate for estimating most distances on the golf course. However, this golf-specific model from Nikon has a host of features that make it enjoyable for use on the links. One of these is the new stabilization feature that helps you lock in on your target to be sure you're getting an accurate reading to the pin and not the sand trap behind it. Like many hunting rangefinders, it also has slope angle compensation, which helps adjust your shot for uphill and downhill holes. This isn't a cheap option, but thanks to the extremely clear Nikon glass and the stabilization feature, this rangefinder is a joy to use compared to cheaper options. If you want something with great clarity but that is a bit more affordable, Cobalt's Q4 is essentially a golf-specific version of the rangefinder I recommended as best overall above. Number 5. Leupold RX Full Draw 4 Rangefinder. Because arrows fall rapidly after a certain distance, bow hunters and archers need accurate short-range readings. Most practice at 100 yards or less and rarely shoot much farther than 70 yards. Similarly, shooting uphill or downhill can drastically change a shot's trajectory. Gravity has less of an effect as you move toward either extreme, so angle compensation is a must-have feature. Leupold's RX Full Draw 4 is one of a few rangefinders built with the archer in mind. It features not only angle compensation, but also a near range of 6 yards and half-yard accuracy out to 175 yards. The maximum range is an impressive 1,200 yards, which means it can do dual duty into rifle season or other distances far past bow hunting requirements. The main drawback with this rangefinder is cost. Usually, archery hunters can get away with using cheaper, lower capacity options that cost less than $100. But serious bow hunters will appreciate the added features.